The new boss is the same as the old boss for Albuquerque Police. Mayor Tim Keller named Harold Medina as his pick to lead the department. Mr. Medina is a longtime APD police person, of course, and has been interim chief since Mike Geyer's acrimonious departure last fall. Now, alongside Mr. Medina, though, is Sylvester Stanley. He's also a longtime local law enforcement veteran, and he'll be taking the post of superintendent of police reform. Now, that job includes running the department's academy and internal affairs, as well as handling compliance with the settlement agreement with the department, reached with the Department of Justice for unconstitutional policing, as you recall. Now, Serge, what do you make of this approach? It certainly wasn't what the mayor said he was looking to do, but here we are. What's your sense of it?
I'm of multiple different minds here. I applaud this sort of the idea of trying to be innovative, take a new approach, say, look, we're going to bifurcate this job and say we're going to focus on, have someone whose whole job is to focus on reform and the consent decree and all that, and important aspects of it, while someone else can focus on, the more of the actual policing.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, the new chief is the same as the old chief. This doesn't really seem to me to represent a real clean break, if that's what we're going for. Innovation combined with stodgy traditionalism and predictability of saying, yep, this is, we had a nationwide search and it turns out we ended up with the person who was already sitting here. And, nothing against Chief Medina, but it doesn't seem to represent a real, effort to do the things that we were told were going to happen. And again, I'm optimistic at this innovative approach. I do have some concerns, about are there two bosses? Are there two, if someone doesn't like one thing, do you go to the other person? Right?
Let me spin
those
that
things don't always work out.
Serge, that's an excellent point you're starting to make there. Let me spin it to the Lieutenant Governor. I mean, Lieutenant Governor, interestingly, what Serge is talking about is you're literally setting up a good cop, bad cop scenario inside the department just by doing it this way. Is there potential trouble down the road with this setup?
I share the optimism for this division of labor as long as it's very clear who's responsible for what. And I think that's really the important part for both the department and the mayor. There's so many inherent systemic problems, and both in the department and also in the drugs and gangs violence that's occurring in Albuquerque. And having someone laser focused on the crime part, I think, is really, really important to the city of Albuquerque. And having someone who can deal with the Department of Justice and internal affairs and separate that out a little bit. I think it's, as Serge said, an innovative approach combined with some tradition.
Let me ask you this, Lieutenant Governor. It's great on paper, but, cultures being what they are, at some point, someone's going to have to walk down the hall to Mr. Medina's office and say, you know what? We need to talk here because we really have a problem with your use of force for, X situation last month. Then it gets tricky. I mean, who actually is in charge at that point?
Right. And I think that's what the division of labor and the division of who has authority and responsibility for what. Mm-hmm. And then that has to be communicated to the rank and file.
Right.
And they have to comply with it. And I know it's going to be difficult, but the other way has not worked. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're not making enough progress within the department. So I do think that that trying this innovation is a positive step for the city.
Mm-hmm. Daniel, I'm interested in your thoughts on that as well. I mean, as long as the issues are clearly defined, who does what, where, who has authority to do, can this work? Is this the better way to go?
Well, I think it can work. I think based on what you guys said, it's not going to work, right? You got one guy fighting crime and one guy running internal affairs. That ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. So, I think at the end of the day, there's going to have to be clear divisions. I don't think you can send somebody out to fight crime and tell them they're not responsible for the academy and internal affairs and answering for what happens. We're going to put that in someone else's lap who's not out on the streets doing what needs to be done every day. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you said who's ultimately responsible? The mayor. The mayor's responsible. I mean, that's the way it works. The mayor can have 25 assistants running the police department. At the end of the day, he's the one that's going to have to answer for the outcome of it. I'm not saying it's not going to work. It might work just fine. Mm-hmm. I would tell you.
That is what you said, Dan. At the beginning, you said it wasn't going to work.
No, I didn't say it was going to work. I said it's going to be a tough situation when you got someone doing this and someone doing that. What I will tell you is I think this whole idea that we have to go out of state to hire people all the time is not necessarily a great idea. I think, if you've got the problems that we've had for obviously multiple mayors, you can't say it's a Republican or Democrat problem, the APD
Fair
problem.
point. Fair point.
Now, to say, and we've gone out bunches of times to hire someone, the first thing to do if you're going to clean your house is you got to have someone that knows your house. And so I think there's a good step in the right direction hiring folks locally than it is to bring people in from out of town and say, hey, we're going to give them a year and a half to figure each other out. I'm optimistic. We got no choice. I mean, when you're on your back, everything's up from here. Some change has got to be better for Albuquerque. I'm just glad I live in Rio Rancho. We don't have these problems with crime. And, apparently coming across the river to see a football game is only a further distance for criminals to come across the river and wreak havoc. So, we're happy in Rio Rancho.
Serge, let me ask you this.
I just wanted to say
Please.
something about the line of authority. And those two people, the two superintendent and the chief, they have to know that they can talk to the mayor. Mm-hmm. Not anybody, not below the mayor. There's nobody intercepting and translating. They have to have a direct line to the mayor.
But is that not the CAO? I mean, that's how the ladder works. I mean, that's who they're going to report to. It's not the mayor.
But I think, as Dan said, it's the mayor's responsibility.
We had this problem with RJ. Remember when RJ brought Darren White in to be the head of, all of the fire department, police department, and he was equal with the CAO, and then you had the chiefs, and it just became who could run to the mayor to get a decision first. Yeah. So you're right. It's going to have to be a clear delineation. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't think that'll ever be made public, but you'll know who's wearing, who's in charge based on what's happening, right? If you start seeing serious reform, then the superintendent's making decisions. I got
to get something in, Dan. Sorry to cut you off. Just got about a minute here for Serge. Let's not forget, Mr. Medina was involved in at least 2 high-profile shootings, guys, including the death of Kenneth Ellis III in 2010. No irony here. That was one of the shootings that got the DOJ here in the first place. And now the man is our chief of police. Things happen. Serge, is there something here that says, well, is our chief fully able to be outside of all this and see this clearly enough, considering his background in some of these things?
Yeah, I do have some concerns about, the baggage that comes along with this and the shootings that he was involved in, or where he was the ranking officer on the scene, and his involvement in all the things that we're saying, we're going to put that behind us. It does seem like it's a real challenge to turn that corner when we have the same person, literally the same person, sitting in the chief's office.
Well, it seems like we've got ACLU and a bunch of folks who are willing to give it a go. It may not be their first choice to do it this way, but they're willing to give it a go. We're up against the clock, guys. Have to leave it there. Thanks to all of you for your thoughts this week. I'll be back in a moment with a few last words.